Graves, which then suggests that they have something else that they want to prioritize. We're yet to see an Azir game, but they're going to prioritize the Lucian Nami bot side of the map.
So you have to expect then the question, because these bottom lanes, the flexibility of Gumayusi and Keria has been their greatest strength. Have the LPL teams, have JDG actually been able to practice the other answers here? Aphelios into Lucianami with Lulu by his side has been the preference thus far.
It certainly has. This was the common answer that JDG used into Rogue's bot lane. It was always the bot lane of Rogue that was drafting this Lucian Nami, and every single time JDG's bot was able to get the push, even with the Aphelios Lulu. The question is, do they need to lock in the Lulu now? There is room for them to lock in an early jungle if they want to, and given that Viego is such a contested jungle, it makes sense that Kanavi would want to get his hands on it.
Exactly. No change here. As we said, Graves, Viego, the Kanavi champions, they want to keep him on a damage-dealing reset sort of champion here. So that means we'll probably be seeing 369 on a bruiser or tank towards that top side of the match.
I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an Azir here for T1 as well. They could also answer with the jungle themselves. Of course, Ona does have a very deep and flexible champion pool. His two most played have been removed so far. Well, three arguably. Only the least in is what we've seen, but he's going to lock in the Vice. So we will see that answer from him. A lot of lockdown for Ona, a lot of gank potential in the early game. T1 with a cheeky hover. It would be a surprise, but we're expecting the Lucians.
This flexibility that I'm talking about for Gumayusi and Keria, these two players have played 8 different champions in their 9 games. They've only repeated once. Now is going to be a second repeat though here with the Lucian being locked in. A little bit of a tantalizing hover there. But as expected, we fill out these bottom lanes with their preferred partners. A lot of these bottom lane matchups come down to those preferred supports with the AD carries. It's always these two matchups.
And the style we're seeing here in Champ Select is backed up by how these teams have played so far at Worlds. Gumayusi has died on exactly 2 champions in exactly 2 games, and he and Keria have been lane dominant trying to do it here against JDG.
And now you gotta look towards the mid lane for the bans here, because Faker has had this big preference for Akali, and with the Sylas already taken down, expect them to whittle down on his champion pool. They take away that Victor, the longer range, scaling mid lane there with the laser farming. And since they expect a tank from the top side from D69, as we said, with Kanavi on his damaged jungler, they ban away the Ornn, one of the best ones that 369 has utilized here. I would say if they're also still trying to follow that up with more tank bans, you would think the Gragas, but Renekton has been the preference for 369. 369 has the most solo kills of anyone at the tournament. A lot of them come on that Renekton. 7 solo bolos for himself, and there's the Akali follow-up as we expect, targeting Faker.
Yeah, champions I'm expecting here include Gragas for the top lane, and on the mid side, Ari and Tali. If you look back at what they played domestically in the LPL to win the trophy, JDG in the playoffs, huge step up from Hope and Missing. They outperformed their KDAs, their KP. They were huge in the team fights that won them the final. And as far as 369, you can see from the Ornn ban, they think tanks are going up there. My eyes go to Gragas, but as you called it, Kobe, Renekton is the ban.
Okay, so it looks like nothing too crazy coming out. Both sides kind of taking away some of the strengths. The cheeky hover there of the Heimerdinger from JDG. But I think what they do need is some form of engage, but they can save that for a little bit later. Of course, both Azir and Talia, 2 very comfortable champions for Yagao, give him a lot of freedom to get that push in the mid lane, and Roam to better enable Kanavi. When we look at JDG, this is a mid-jungle duo that works together to get Kanavi ahead, and having push and Roam in mid is very typical and strong for JDG.
And specifically what JDG have done here is try and funnel Faker onto the Azir. The Talia here has been Yagao's consistent counter pick into the Azir pickups. With the bans on Victor and Akali, JDG are trying to force Faker into this pick here for the Azir, pull it out, because Faker has not played it here at Worlds yet and has focused so much more, towards those kill threats.
This is what he was playing domestically. Azir was his most played, but Lissandra and Galio were what he went for next. We get a carry in the top side. Zayu's blinds Camille with a Galio flying over the top, and 369 in game 1 gets counterpicked.
And if you remember your World's history, Faker on some of his biggest carry performances, carrying all 3 lanes on Galio, and the quintessential duo solo lane pick here of Galio plus Camille. The easiest possible execution of a kill backline carry. Camille ultimate into Galio ultimate. You can consistently get these engaged. Plus you can consistently also go on top of the Vi. They have so many answers, so many setup possibilities here for T1 to get Faker an ideal Galio ultimate.
So when we go back to the quarterfinals, T1, they played a lot through their top side of the map. They have options to play through top, bot, largely with Faker looking to get those roams off around level 6, looking to set up for those top lane dives, those bot lane dives with the stacked waves. JDG needs to commit a little bit more to that top side, try and get 3-6-9 ahead in this counter pick matchup. They can leave their bot side to scale, ramp up into the later game, and be that team fight threat. But JDG need to find a way to shut Zeus down, and not many teams around the world have successfully been able to do it.
Yeah, I really think JDG have to snowball and
Absolute stellar performer. T1, 4 of these 5 players were found, scouted by T1 themselves. The only transfer is Carrier, picked up after his own rookie year. T1 with a self-found lineup, ready to see if they can make the World Finals again.
yeah.
Oh, sweep it.
There's been a lot of talk of building up younger rookie talent. And T1 are setting an example for the entire world with how successful they have been. Zeus, Owner, Gumayushi, all being brought up through their youth program, trained themselves internally.
So a minor point I want to bring up there, you saw them dance around and wait to kill the ward. Hope tried to walk out of range, not get XP. He still got XP. Every one of the 5 has some XP from that ward, which means no one is getting level 2 from the first wave. They attempted to let 369 and Yagao get level 2 off 6 minions. That was not successful. They ran out of time.
Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to be keeping our eyes on jungle pathing now. Kanavi going to start on the bot side with a solo start, it looks like, and he's going to path up towards top. This is expected, looking to mainly cover for 369 in the early push, making sure that he is comfortable and safe. We talk so much in draft around this top side and making sure that 369 is comfortable and safe in the 1v1, making sure that this counter pick works out for JDG.
Yeah, there's a lot of volatile lanes to look at. And if you go back and watch a lot of the LPL games for JDG this year, you really do focus on Kanavi. I actually love his jungle playstyle. It's one of these ones that is kind of a pay-it-forward jungle playstyle. My personal favorite, actually, where you go and oftentimes he'll visit Yagao's lane, push out the wave for him, ward for him, so that he can then pay it forward, have Yagao then come support him in jungle invades, or in going and ganking on the side lanes. It's one of the reasons that Kanavi has been one of the best quintessential carry jungle players with the highest gold per minute of any jungler here at World, and the highest...
Level 2 each, Gumayushi. Not going to be whimsied here. Looks like shield was learned by missing as decent damage comes across, trading back and forth. And right now, JDG have the health lead. Good sidestep in the Calibrum snipe.
And look at this jungle path here from Kanavi immediately. Looking to play off some of these volatile lanes, going mid, just as we expect with Yagao.
Here we go, Faker has Ghost, has Cleanse, or has Flash, I should say, finds the taunt. Will they find the stun? Sidesteps it. Faker walking away, has burned his Ghost though, down 1 summoner in mid.
So, a bit of trade of summoner spells all across the map, the heal being burnt down in bot, the Ghost being spent there by Faker. The fact that he was able to get that early push against the Taliyah, you would expect that Yagao kind of let him get that early push set for that play, and Kanavi is quick to take advantage of it. As Kobe was setting up, this is a very common trend that we'll see from Kanavi, playing through mids to try and burn those summoners to make it easier for Yagao to get that push so that he can then look to roam. And again, we'll keep our eyes on the top side of the map and these level 6s for both these mid laners.
Exactly, it's such an effective style as a jungler because there's no better feeling than having a mid laner be able to come gank with you or gank for you even, and be able to soak up those extra minions. Meanwhile, Owner over towards the bottom side. They're really trying to play off their first pick Lucian Nami duo lane here.
Heal is down. They don't have obvious easy escapes. Then if CC lands, it'll stick through, but not going to find the dive here. Scryers lose spots underneath. The bottom side wave is gone. The camps are out, and it's going to be both junglers getting a pretty easy scuttle.
And the cost of that for jungling and revealing yourself and blowing that Scryer's Bloom is always the counter jungling possibilities. Look at already this CS lead that Kanavi has jumped out to here on the Viego. And Vedius, you were talking about this top lane matchup. Whenever your jungler is able to invade enemy blue quadrant like that versus blue team,
the ward just in time.
It's very, very beneficial for just your lane because of this ward that you get to leave behind.
It gives you so much information to play off of, and 369 can be as aggressive as he wants. And Zeus, with his wave in a bit of an awkward spot right now, has to be a little bit more cautious. But I think what we saw was a great contrast of the jungle styles. Oner, very much more about trying to enable his very talented laners. Not to say that he's like constantly, repeatedly ganking every single lane, but he really does try to set up his laners for success. Really good trade here for Zeus.
Out of mana though, can't chase for any more than that one. 369 safe at 200 HP. Will of course regen a bit back up with that door and shield, but Zeus now back in control of the lane.
369 though, with the wave pushing into him, he can look to go back to base. He doesn't have to expend the TP if he doesn't want to. Missing in a bit of trouble.
A lot of damage, but he does get the whimsy up on Gumayushi. Stops some of the damage. Flash forward, cleanses the root. Damage at a hope, and it's going to be flash for cleanse. Cool that advantage to T1.
Interesting. That's going to attract a lot of attention with no flash available on Hope. The immediate response from both mid laners as well as both junglers here. There is blood in the water already.
Ooh. Of course, knows where Oner is. No Snaker's down there, but not yet level 6. JDG, everyone's a wave away from 6 here. Both the Galio and Taliyah can make their way down. Similar ranges on the ultimates. This wave crashing right now is the one, or the one speeding in a second, is the one that gets level 6. We'll see him come down pretty soon, possibly. Look for someone in the brush. No one's down there. T1 safe to kill the control ward.
The thing about Lucian Army is it is inherently a very volatile lane. You want to be finding advantages in the straight up 2v2 because of your additional sustain and because of the amount of damage that you have, which means that T1 are investing a lot into making sure that Keria and Gumayushi can build up these leads. Faker is hovering to the bot side of the map. Oner is consistently looking for opportunities, and while he is falling behind in the isolated jungle 1v1 matchup, he's making sure that this bot lane is building a lead.
Yeah, you can see the first battle that will be fought over the war that is bottom lane is this area here. This river is going to be the highway of ganks between mid and bottom that is going to be constantly under attention here from both sides. I want to take a minute to talk about the T1 bottom lane, as they should be able to escape here, because the T1 bottom lane, their performance at World has been magnificent. And one of the biggest improvements from T1's summer split for themselves, Gumayushi and Keria have the top 2 KDAs of all players, not just bottom layer players at Worlds thus far. 18.5 KDA for Gumayushi. It gives them the confidence to early pick that duo. Meanwhile though, JDG will be able to use Kanavi, start up this dragon.
I mean, Gumayushi has only died in 2 of their 9 games. It's crazy. And that was the
total time so far.
That was the 3rd game against RNG, and then that was the game that they lost against Fnatic. Aside from that, he has been deathless. The man has had an incredible tournament, and right now he's being set up for success. But JDG, as you rightly said, we're able to find that small advantage. Kanavi is playing the map very well. He hasn't been able to find any successful ganks yet, but this is his style. He leverages the pressure that his waves are able to generate, information on where the enemy jungler is, to build up leads for himself and steal away these objectives. So JDG, while very even in the gold, ahead now on Dragon.
And he's scaling away here on this Viego. He's going to move towards that Divine Thunder he's so want to build down there, as the bot lane also is holding up. The fact that Aphelios is within 5 CS of Lucian, definitely pretty solid, especially when Guma got such a very good first recall. Managed to force a 1,000 gold recall for both. Got serrated Dirk into just like components very, very good, and yet not pushing the lead much more beyond that.
And now I want to refocus back on Kanavi, kind of the heart of JDG here, this carry jungle player, because with this CS lead, Viego, once you get level 6, is a huge force in Rift Herald fights. We're about to tick towards that 8-minute mark once the Rift Herald does spawn. Because you have that reset playability here for them, I want to see if JDG can get themselves an advantage. Oner, meanwhile, is bottom lane, still level 5 on the buy.
The control ward in the river, he's going to be spotted right about now. Missing, has to flash, maybe. It's going to be the first one missing. Heal for move speed. Flashed it himself. Double, not an ulti, but enough damage is going to be there. The polymorph, first blood for Gumayushi. He won the second from drops down. Missing finds the kill. Loosed his life.
Wow, incredible play there from T1 as they're able to commit and get some kills in the bot side of the map. Hope with some beautiful sidestepping was not enough. So much was committed from the T1 side to secure those kills, and while they will draw first blood, JDG walk away with the Herald.
It's honestly such a smart read from T1. They expect the same play I was just talking about on that Rift Herald for Kanavi, and so Oner takes that opportunity to make the bottom side play. Ward there for T1 on the top side, with Kanavi successfully being able to get that Rift Herald and now turn his eyes towards the top side.
Galio has the ult.
Pretty good damage. They're going to put the ulti on indeed. Which way can he go as Galio arrives? But it is a 3 versus 2. The taunt is short. The damage good towards Kanavi. Barely stays alive. Finds the damage, but no! The re-engage is in. T1 find their 3rd kill. And Oner wants a little bit more. Faker dives in. Snipes the last kill. Oner will just about fall. Zeus kill back.
Meanwhile, 2v1 dive possibility.
No way. He's gonna Whimsy, he's gonna find the slow, the root will be there, Whimsy. He's gonna drop aggro, the shot lands, and Gumayuchi makes him pay for the roam.
And it's blow for blow across the map. We're almost tied in gold here with the extra dragon going over to JDG and now being able to push out on bottom side. Keria finally getting back, but we first see that Galio ultimate used to try and cross-map defend towards Zeus for T1. They overstep a little bit with the extra tower damage there and giving over the extra kill.
But look at the minimap. T1 read the play very well. They're already making their way up towards the top side well before this play is even happening, which means the Faker is in range to land the ultimate. The damage from the Galio is incredible as he's able to force Kanavi out of the fight. And then the second that 369 overextends, he's not expecting both the Vi and the Nami to be here, which means that they overextend and T1 are able to find 2 kills.
It's just so smart there. Owner, knowing again that JDG are going to play a top side after the bottom side showing, is able to get up there and use his Vi ultimate. Meanwhile, Gumayuchi left on the bottom side, 2v1. There is no outplaying this. Good job from Missing to tank the tower aggro, moves in, gets a knockup with his ultimate before then getting out of tower range, and Hope able to snipe him with the ultimate.
Just really good awareness from the JDG bot lane, ultimately making that trade a 2-for-2. It was the best thing they could have done, and I'm glad that they were able to commit to it because they keep this game still very even. Both these teams are bloody teams, and we're already seeing it here in Game 1 of this semifinal.
And we're seeing JDG just edge out a little bit in the objective control with the Dragon as well as the Rift Herald still in pocket for Kanavi to be able to use. But Gumayuchi and Faker both getting rich off those plays.
The only lane with any turret plates killed so far is top lane there. 369, I feel like, would probably want the extra gold ahead of his opponent. None of them are close to dying at this point in time. T1 actually leads the World Championship in turret difference across the early game, holding like it here so far as well with pressure in a lot of these lanes.
Yeah, they lead the World Championship in a lot of ways. Explosive wins, as we've seen from them. Very, very quick game times as well. See about some top side focus again, though, from Kanavi.
Worth noting, first Mythic in for Hope.
The wave state is in a very awkward position for Zeus, and he knows exactly where his team is, which means that there's a real risk of Kanavi being here in the top lane. Zeus doesn't have the flash, does still have the E at his disposal though, so he's playing as cautiously and as carefully as he can. Keep your eye on your Gao on the minimap as well, as he is hovering around the top side of the map. JDG is threatening this.
Ooh, actually interrupts the E back, will not find the stun, nor the damage from Kanavi. He's going to summon the Herald and go for a couple of plates taken. They may auto-attack one down, the turret likely won't die, but with Lee on the way over, they can probably just force this whole thing down.
Yeah, it's a known trade here. JDG trying to force on top side with Rift Herald activation, giving up that Dragon. Look at Faker coming over for the Galio ult.
Double combo, it's gonna catch Kanavi and make so much damage. Ults out to safety, finds a stun. Juke it away from Faker, and because Mid is here, it's a 3v2 and JDG find the kill.
JDG with the outplay. It felt to me like Faker read the play once more. He was prepared to cover Zeus, but JDG were confident in making the play happen. 3 versus 2. They're able to get the outplay, and they walk away with the kill and the plates.
Yeah, it's T1 trying to make the same counterplay this time around, but can't quite get the outplay in the 2 versus 3 this time. JDG get that extra kill, and they did need that because of the heavy investment up there, because Dragon traded over to T1, splitting those now. Gold lead still not that significant. A lot of these, item timers are being matched by both teams, hitting all their first mythics on the exact same time. So it's going to be about that next engage, the next big Galio ultimate from Faker. Now after you see these recalls and the support recall timers moving in, trying to set up the wards to do so.
700 gold lead, as you mentioned, item timings there is it's still 4 mythics apiece, right? You got the mandate for carry, you've got the crown here for Yagao. Looking for their second Drake, not quite the sidestep there, but support combat not gonna be that lethal just yet, but you've got a jungler coming across, forcing the flash away from Missing without tidal wave. We'll see if the team fight looks good.
Chad Nami here, Keria forces support flash all by himself, has the backup of the rest of the T1 team, so Missing knows he's got to get out of there.
I was a little surprised that Missing chose not to invest his ultimate, but the second he saw Ona on that control ward, he was like, I could get ulted here, this is not worth it, so he chooses to flash out. Big wave here that JDG want to make sure they can grab, so Kanavi is just here to cover. Something that we consistently see from him, making sure that his laners are as safe as possible as JDG enter the mid game in an even state. You can see that JDG have been able to accrue a large number of plates across the map, and they've been able to successfully gain advantages in both top and even in mid, just because of how Yagao in recent plays was able to get the better of Faker.
And some very important wards, actually. Just see Faker there attempting a hover towards the top side of the map for JDG. Meanwhile, JDG clearing out all of these wards through that mid-bottom highway of the river to make a power play for themselves on the other side of the map.
Not going to find the ward kill themselves. The T1 kills out the aggressive control ward. Bot lane will be pushed in, but not much else to play for. No neutral objectives are up. Actually, Herald has respawns. That is going to be an available play. You see Kanavi walking to that side of the map.
So this is the main plan here from JDG. Kanavi hovers the bot, makes sure they can catch the wave, then he makes sure that they can push the wave out, which gives them first roam up to mid. Now you can see them catching the mid wave, and now they're threatening to die.
Yeah, this is going to be a 2v1. Not much you can do. Ulti's a dodge away the knockback, but will it even matter? Looks for the jump away, doesn't get too far, and Kanavi's going to find himself the kill. JDG put more resources top lane, and 369 is rewarded.
Just exquisite macro there from JDG. The play from bot into mid, with the mid roam into top, into the successful tower dive. T1 now contests 4v5.
Yeah, good spot. Q smite claimed by Owner. But the team fight is what matters because Hope is here. Gale forces in, jumps in for the root, ults for a bit more damage, but no kills be found just yet. Another slow. Q not quite there. Flashed in for a stun. The knockup, nearly the kill. Kanavi goes down. Owner wants out, but he's gonna fall all the same. 1-for-1 mid lane controlled by JDG.
Zeus is alive, so Faker could recall, heal on Galio, try and walk out to the map to be able to ultimate and look for a counter play, but it looks like JDG won't give them the opportunity. They back off, push out mid lane afterwards. What a steal there, being able to smite away the Rift Herald, deny that objective to JDG after their successful pickoff on Zeus.
And this is the thing you can never underestimate with T1, the individual talent. The sidestep there from Gumayusi, the steal from Ona, the taunt from Faker. 4 versus 4 initially, because of the back from 369 means that T1 see a window to force this fight. But then their goal is the second that 369 rejoins, they need to disengage. But look at the ultimate here from Ona. The second that the commitment comes in, he gets knocked up by Faker, knocked up by Ona, and they're able to one-shot the jungler from JDG. It does end up being a trade as Hope is able to find a kill, but the Herald is denied from T1, along with the Herald being denied from JDG.
Yeah, nice little seismic shove from Yagao to make sure it is indeed a 1-for-1 in the end. And a bunch of these kills over, going to Hope. Flashing forward early, very, very aggressive Aphelios play here from Hope. Want to see if JDG can keep up this pace, because as the side turrets go down, that's when these two comps get really exciting. It's all about picking off those side laners, who can be first to the play, and then trying to avoid, or in T1's case, set up that big Gallia ultimate to make sure it happens.
One of the things that impressed me the most in the quarterfinals was JDG's ability to set up around objectives. And what I mean by that is the way in which they set up the lanes across the map, the way in which they control the space. And again, we're seeing it. Look at how Yagao was able to get the push in bot. They sacrificed the wave in mid to contest this objective, and now they're looking to force it.
Force the TP on the top side, ulti on. Is it going to be enough to kill off Missing, though? Has to walk away. He's got the reinforcements coming around there. No knockups to the Galio. Finest on the back side. Really can't live for long. Zeus forced to jump away. And 369 gets another one. Kanavi going to be safe in the back line. Cannot find the stun for 369. A 1-for-0. T1 chose to hop away from the top turret. They wanted to fight for the Drake, but JDG win that fight.
What play from 369? He flashes out of the Galio ultimate just onto the edge there, and they re-engage after Zeus taking down this top laner, being rewarded with the dragon, number 2 to their names. JDG outplaying again in this team fight.
Really well played team fight by JDG, but 369 now isolated.
Gonna be a lot of danger on him. 1 versus 3 has the dodge up. Can he find a kill? Goes for Carrier. The squishiest member forces the flash away. Somehow Carrier snipes the kill himself.
The flash into the control warded bush was so smart there from Carrier to completely deny vision from 369 in the event that his Q was off cooldown. Kanavi, though, once again, stealing away jungle. I stand corrected! Zeus, he's just gonna walk away with that one. Cheeky steal from him, no smite from Kanavi.
No way! He's able to steal it away from Kanavi there. Didn't have smite, so it was still coming down, but that was such a bold play there. Able to escape with his life as well.
Attempt here.
This personal now. Kanavi's looking for Zeus. You stole my red buff, now I'm looking for your life, but it looks like they have no wave to really threaten to dive here. Yagao does not want to risk it.
And look at this on the top side. It must be noted, Faker getting this side lane turret again. Once these turrets go down, it's going to get so exciting. Already, this game 1 is delivering. The gold's so close right now, coming down to these small spacings. You mentioned Avedius, The all-in engage here onto missing. They have the Camille ult plus the Galio ultimate, but 369 flashes away from the Galio ultimate, and then nobody wants to go over this Yagao field of rocks on the bottom side, which allows JDG to focus fire and take down the Camille, getting them the extra person advantage and the objective.
It's important to realize that T1's comp is inherently a dive comp. People all want to be collapsing in on a single target, but they chose to dive onto missing in a choke point, which for champions like Talia, for Lulu, these are great spaces where they can punish their opposition. The ultimate from Hope would just be a bit of damage, but T1, they overcommitted into that funnel, and then they quickly regretted their decision.
Exactly, and that means the important flashes you're looking to burn for the fights are going to be
4v2. There's the stun, pretty good damage on Zeus. Does he live is the question. Yagao puts down the minefield, and Faker says hello and wants to say goodbye. The wave comes across, just what Faker wanted to do. A stopwatch buys 2.5 seconds, but it's still gonna be 400 gold to buy items. Going to JDG, a 2-for-0 team fight.
JDG finds the secret agent there in the brush. They assassinate Zeus, and now they're gonna run the map.
They have their eyes on the Baron, the pings are coming down, but they've decided to commit to mid. Now they're looking for another kill.
Gumayusi trying to run for his life, gets out. I don't see a 3, I see 6-9 on the scoreboard right now. JDG winning with a lot of effort in the top lane. Kanavi got a bunch of kills and solidly ahead now in game 1.
JDG are just playing the map and they're playing the fight so well. T1 are looking for these picks, but they're inherently over-grouping at this point in the game, and JDG are just outplaying them in the straight-up 5v5.
Yeah, really good spacing from these JDG members. Getting outside of these skill shots, re-engaging and taking down immediately Zeus in back-to-back scenarios here. Huge pickup for them.
It just clicked to me, your clever 6-9 score is so clever.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Let's have a look back at this clip.
So this is on award. T1 double member invade, and JDG go right for them. You've activated our trap card. Once Faker comes late in on the Galio as well, it's just another delivery of an extra kill. When T1 go for these attempted secret plays, you need to have a sweeper ready to make sure you are not on vision.
Yeah,
because JDG, they do not hesitate.
Exactly.
They've been such a good job coordinating these engagements.
You can see that T1's idea there was to inherently threaten the tower. They wanted to try and, if you don't back off, we're going to dive you, but JDG was primed and ready as you very clearly highlighted. So we're now looking at the next Drake, spawning in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. JDG would love to get their hands on that. So Yagao already pathing up towards top, started the slow push off, will start making his way down towards the mid lane as well. JDG still have a lot of time, but the same could be said for T1. As Gumayusi throws down a bit of damage down onto Hope. He will have the red gun to be able to lifesteal that back up, but it's JDG with primary control over the river right now.
Top lane fight yet again, equal levels for now, but items 2 completed for 369. Zeus able to jump away, heal back up with a backflip and grasp. Jungler on his side now as well. It could be a 2v1 onto the top laner. Has to be respectful in a little bit. The mid wave, though, is given to JDG.
Now, I expect T1 to go for some pick-off plays. We mentioned in Champ Select, the ability to pick champions off is the greatest strength of their setup. The Camille, the Vi, the Galio, looking to attack those side lanes. But JDG have just been so much better at defending it. Yagao constantly being there early on the move. Kanavi constantly hovering 369 in his pushes, and they're able to get another tower here.
And huge control ward spotted 4 people running out of T1's lower jungle up towards mid. They are going to push for this turret. It might be a 1-for-1 turret play ultimately. Guma has to drop aggro because he went for W poke, and that means the turret will live. They couldn't have spent the money anyway, but it would have meant a little bit of map control. 4th Drake of the game. JDG up 2-1 on that mark so far. Cloud Drake spawns in 3.
Gotta watch Hope. Everybody is looking for the engage on Hope. There's no flash on him. He's in the middle of the mid lane here. Very vulnerable on that Aphelios. Should be the big target.
Yeah. Red gun, Bloodthirster, flash on in. Looking for the dive. Everyone presses R, and he's shut down. Can JDG win 4v5 is the question. They own the river. They do not own mid lane. Turret will fall. Knockback is there. Faker Zonia's gonna stay alive with the disengaged flash. Looks at the cleanse flash away from Yagao. Looks for it again. Taunt 369. No, bubbled away. Flashback to safety. Owner can't catch him either. 4v5. JDG are fighting. A taunt will land from Faker, but 369 can fight back. Finds his stun. Knocked up into a bubble. And Faker just barely lives. But JDG don't have an 80 carry, and they win the fight 4v5.
Well, they run them off the objective. They can definitely turn back for the Dragon, and that is going to be Dragon Soul Point. This would put them at number 3, putting so much threat on T1. Big pickoff. T1, great shot calling. As we mentioned, that's the target you're looking for.
You set it up perfectly, Kobe. You talked about how they were looking for that single target, and this is the idea of the comp. Flash it from Ona. The chain CC is beautiful. There's nothing that Hope can do to escape. But the way in which JDG leveraged the space to just chip away at T1, make it difficult for T1 to re-engage again. They get a good pick down onto Faker. Faker's flash is clean, but the response is just as clean from Yagao. And at this point, they're just running away because they have no real way to start the fight off once again.
And then, oh my god, these re-engages are so fun to watch. 369 has to flash out immediately. He knows he can chase Faker because the Zhonya's is down for Faker, and over the Cloud Soul move speed buff, they're able to close the distance here, chase T1 out of range of the objective. So even though JDG lose their AD carry, they lose priority, they're still able, with the health chunks on T1, able to get that objective.
This is the world-class performance we were looking for in the semi-final of 2022 Worlds, and we're getting it. The gold is still dead even. JDG do lead in Dragons, but you know that this game could still go either way. A single good fight for either side could swing the game dramatically. Baron's still up. Dragon in the next 4 minutes for that soul point.
We'll see if JDG can retain control. It is 3-2 in turrets right now, still close in kills, and with only 400 gold separating these two squads right now. JDG still seem to be holding all the cards. Double Black Cleaver actually on their front line. Looking for more damage focus, honestly, that build. Obviously, you can go tanky with like a Death Dance something, but they have chosen to do as much damage as possible. Frozen Heart now on the way for 369. Says Faker's not a damage threat, everyone else is.
I'm so excited to watch now the mid-game side lane play, because both these teams are so good at pushing and still having the global to come cover. Right now, you'll see a big movement towards pushing in to get vision around Baron. There's enough damage in the game that if you commit too far without any vision on the other side, you will give up such a big objective here. And JDG know that T1 just overcame RNG. One of the biggest mistakes RNG made in that game were giving up vision around Baron, giving up that Baron to T1.
JDG is so relentless with their vision control, though. You can already see on the map how much they've invested into this topside river, making sure that they have control over this objective. And the main goal of this is to force T1 to have to spend their vision to just clear out an area of the map to give T1 a little bit of extra security. But now look, they come back onto the map, 2 control wards already picked up for Kanavi, another 2 control wards on missing. They're ready to push this vision deeper and deeper, and they're setting up for these future objectives, making sure they can control and limit what T1 can do on the map.
We are several thousand gold away from Hope finishing Infinity Edge to get his third item on the board. About 1,200, 1,300 gold in inventory right now. So still needs, if he wants IE, pickaxe plus the combined, so 1,500 or so gold to go. LDRB, of course, a much cheaper road is possible as well if he wants to punch down the front line. With Double Cleaver, I don't expect LDR to be optimal, but we'll see which way he goes if he wants a sooner power spike, because that Cloud Soul is up in 2.5, and you only earn about 400 gold a minute in throw play. We'll see which way he goes with this one. JDG still aggressively pushing in the bottom side, a high ability haste build, as we've seen. And looking right at that bot tier 2 with Zeus maybe recalling in his face.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you allocate Galio all the way to a top side here like Faker, because when T1 show a Galio up there, you do have a global, quote-unquote, ultimate, but it's not the entire map like a teleport. It's
continental.
Exactly. He's running double, mobility summoner spells have a greater impact once he gets into the fight, but you know JDG are paying attention. Lane activation for T1, so incredibly important here. With Faker, Zeus the only one that has actually the full range of motion there.
You can see how rich Gumayushi is. Freak, you were talking about the itemization earlier on, and I'm looking at how much gold he's sitting on. He is a very strong AD carry. He's looking for missing.
Missing, jump, Okama comes across. How much time can they buy? 369 force now. Tidal wave ulti, and it's a 2 for nothing. Zeus finds a double.
And just like that, T1 pounce. A very quick pick turns into 2 kills, and T1 are ruthless in finding and shutting JDG down.
There's no way JDG are going to be able to win a 3v5, right? No way they could make a hero play on Baron. Let's see if they try. 3 members of JDG versus the full might of T1.
4 whole wards on the support, but he's dead right now. Can't help the ward into the pit. Health bar's at about half HP. Smite is up on both sides. Faker dives in, and the rest of the squad comes by. Economy splashes away. Burning down with the red. Wants the kill. He can get it as
They did it! JDG 3v5. T1 don't want to flip the Baron, guys, so they go over the back of the wall trying to kill Kanavi. But JDG kite them through their red buff and get the counter kill onto Owner. What a stand. JDG, hold fast here against the odds.
So, oh wow, so T1C missing, walking into the fog of war off the minion wave, and they're quick to find the pick. 369 very quickly follows as T1 ruthlessly run down JDG and catch them unawares. But the second that T1 head towards the Baron, you think, as you said, Kobe, surely there's no way. The turning point was that T1 committed to the fight. They turn, they don't actually flip the Baron. Their eyes are set on killing Kanavi.
Yeah, they're looking for the turn here. Faker on the side with Galio. He's got flash, so he wants to get this big taunt flash on the enemy jungler. He does instead get Hope, and then the knock-up onto Kanavi means they go all in for it. It's going to be...
They got a 4v5 somehow stop this Baron, but Cloud Soul's going over. This Baron could be claimed. The rest of the squad's got to get there. Yagao is around. Hope finds the damage. Owner will fight to live. It is a Baron versus a Dragon Soul.
Where have we seen this before? Oh, right, just in quarterfinals, T1 versus RNG. Another Cloud Soul traded for Baron. We will get to examine if it means as much in this game, where the gold is much closer. But off that respawn for T1, they should be able to get back and defend. Baron-empowered recalls are so quick.
They are on the way back down. Temporary combat power, very good, obviously, for T1. A bit of gold earned back. Half that gold for the Baron, just clawed back thanks to the bot tier 2 kill. Zay is looking for his next target, will not find it just yet. Yagao pretty fast.
The move speed from the Cloud Soul actually does mean a tremendous amount in a game like this, where so much is predicated on side lane pushing and picking people off.
For sure. I think the other thing I want to know is props to Yagao and what has been a very bloody game, yet to die. And I think he's actually been a big difference maker in a lot of these fights because he's not the person getting focused, Hope is. He's actually used a lot of his zone control to make it much harder for T1 to further follow up any initial picks that they're able to find.
Looking at bot lane at tier 1 right now. No one remotely nearby the defendant is going to be given over. Gold will be shared by Carry as mid lane tier 2 is under fire as well. And despite being down the Baron, JDG, 4v5s, 3v5s, Baron buff, they're still the team playing aggressively and taking more turrets than T1 has taken.
Yeah, it's looked like JDG getting a very, very good setup here. Not allowing T1 to get any gold out of this Baron. That Baron power play, one of the lowest that we have seen. Because they're able to hard push down mid, not give T1 any time to set up their split push. Off those recalls though, the bounce back for T1 allows them to push up through mid and rotate over.
Still a close one, 1,000 gold separating these teams. T1 of course back ahead thanks to the Baron they had claimed. Red Bull Baron power play, and still a minute left on the timer. Bot tier 2 under fire. Vizion does not want the fight, and even though the wall comes down, they're not going to commit to the battle itself. They might just try now the knockback in. Here comes Galio. Will it be enough? Stopwatch buys time. Down goes one. Down goes two. And 369 and the rest of JDG are looking for a bit more. Amazing flash from Carry, but the chase is still on. Over the wall goes Kanavi. Wants to find his next stun. Here's the move speed in action. Thank you, Cloud Soul, for the cleanup. Guma on his way out. Flash is burned to stay alive, but Yagao is not yet done. Sidestepping away from the knockup, and finally they will stop getting these kills.
This T1 bottom lane are able to fend off all 5 JDG members as they kite away and buy Faker time to get an objective for themselves. Still pushing with the Baron, does get the tower.
Beautifully done, gets the goal back to the spot here, but we gotta play towards Faker. Burns his Zhonya's 2-minute cooldown, but will it matter? He will drop, and the kill goes to Viego.
It's still a great trade for T1 being able to secure that tower, but losing so many members, it seems they were caught unawares. Zeus underneath the tower, he ended up getting knocked up by Yagao. The ultimate cuts off their escape route. He gets a little too close, and you'll see the knockup come through. Beautifully played there by Yagao, sets the lockdown, and JDG are quick. And look at the ultimate here from Hope as well, just tearing apart T1.
Exactly, JDG, such a good job getting the engage under tower. Yagao showing his mastery of this Talia pick, able to get catch the pick there onto Zeus and start it out. So then when they re-engage, T1 are fighting into the tower. Huge clump of damage there from Hope off the ultimate. Gumayusi, a lot of this damage that you're seeing is actually as they're escaping, though, was not in the team fight, able to get them any meaningful kills. A lot of damage while running away.
And I credited Yagao for not dying earlier. Of course, Carrier yet to die in this game as well. And that's arguably even more impressive on Anami, a champion that doesn't have a huge amount of mobility or tools to peel for himself. Carrier and Gumayusi continue to have a stellar performance. Yep. 2 deaths on Gumayusi, so uncharacteristic for him so far at this Worlds, dying, but he's still a massive carry threat, and he's someone you have to keep your eyes on. Pretty much full build now, level 16 on the Lucian. He will be the biggest damage dealer on the side of T1 that JDG will have to be very wary of as we move forward into the upcoming fights.
So fun watching these Titans go back and forth in these fights, in these picking moments. Only one of these outer towers still remains on the map left for them to take. So a lot of it is trying to get this deeper vision and then get just an extra second of alone time in an engage could mean the difference between life and death between one of these side laners.
Look at all the GAs that are now coming through. Kanavi, 369, and Hope all have that on the side of JDG. They are an incredible team fighting team. It is their team fighting that has helped them come back so many times in multiple domestic and international games. And now they will have many times to bounce back in these fights. Let's see how T1 handle it, because it's going to make their pick comp inherently harder to execute in the upcoming fight.
Oh! Taunts everybody, and it's GA already down. How does Hope have a chance of surviving this one? It's going to land, and Gumayusi finds the cleanup kill. 45 seconds until Elder and Baron spawn.
He who strikes first gets the rewards. T1, led by Faker, the GOATs, get another pick for themselves. They take down the most important member and his GA, Vedius.
What a great flash from Faker, completely catching Hope off guard. He wasn't even able to respond with the flash of his own. JDG was forced to abandon him, and now 20 seconds on the Baron, 15 seconds on the Elder. T1 are primed and poised to secure these objectives that will likely decide the game.
As we've seen, JDG winning team fights from a numbers disadvantage. 13 seconds on Hope. He will have to walk all the way from the fountain to be able to get there in time. Elder Dragon started
Faker,
up.
not just yet, no 12k health. Hope still in the fountain. Looking to play on in now towards Zeus. Can't find the kill just yet. Health bar's pretty high. Here comes the first dive. 369 out, missing. Drops down to Gumayusi. Getting attacked himself, but he has GA. And they'll pop it off of the Jacks now as well. 3v5 continues on. Now pick goes Zeus. Kanavi at 1 health. Shut down. 369 goes for everything he can. And he can't find it. It's up to Hope. He lands the ulti. The snipe is not enough. It's not a crit. And Yagao now stuck in place. Hope kills off Baker. Gumayusi kicked out now as well. Hope has to get it all. Gets 1. Shoots for Zeus. Looks for 2. Not the rest just yet. There's the wall. Yagao. He knocks down Guma. And the white gun goes for more. Hope gets a red buff. Fires off the snipe. And somehow JDG stopped the dragon.
The most glorious blood battle I've seen around Elder Dragon on the world stage. And the Elder Dragon survives. Hope runs all the way back, straight from the fountain, out of this death timer to save the day for JDG. Look at JDG. They're going straight for the fight. They don't want to even play around with flipping this Elder.
Keep your eyes on Gumayusi on the backside, just obliterates missing, and then the rest of the team is like, peel for Guma, peel for Guma, keep 369 off him. We don't have time, we're back into the action, Freak.
Baker's still dead, Guma's still dead. Yagao will have to run from the base, but they think, hey, you know what, 4v3 seems pretty good. Baker no ulti, he has to walk all the way over. Owner won the last smite fight. Will he get this one as well? Doesn't have the ward vision, but might try all the same.
Oh,
369 is gonna mark him, and that'll be enough to secure the Elder Dragon onto 4, and JDG will cross the map and go again for Baron.
Another time where if we go back to the origins of this play, it was the T1 pick onto Hope in mid lane that allowed them to set up the first Elder Dragon and result in JDG still getting the objective in the aftermath. This team will never give up. They will never say die.
Unbelievable skill expression from both of these teams. We are witnessing some peak League of Legends right now. JDG will start off the Baron. The wall comes down.
Zeus in the front line, Owner on the side now as well. 8k health left, that's when Yagao sees no one's behind the pit. It's all in the front. It's 369 again, marking the target. Owner comes in, he'll find a stun though, and keep in mind, they've got Elder. Hope can't find the first kill, but 369 does. will drop as well. It's 2 for nothing, and T1 runs for the hills. But 3-6-9 once more gets his second of the fight. Looks for Guma. The cooldowns are short. The leap is almost back. The Cloud Rift helping, and Galio jumps in to help. 2v1 gonna be enough to push him away.
What the thing for JDG is, while the fight was good, they spent a lot of time just chasing the Tier 1 members. They've only got a single cannon minion, and 2 Tier 1 members still stand strong. They're looking to push it to the base. They're looking to end the game.
They're going to try to end it. There are no TPs up, but they can shepherd the minions.
Protect the cannon.
Yeah, it's 5v2.
It's
5v2, and JDG wants the Nexus. This one will not respawn in time. No inhibitors, no champions, and no hope. JDG take game 1.
A path towards red side. Owner did the same thing as well for T1 in the first game of their series.
They still like it.
Salty run back, baby.
What we've seen this so many times in quarters where a team will just Lucian, Nami, blue side 2 games in a row. Rogue did it, Dalmon did it. I feel like that it's just become a trend where people in scrims recognize the strength of it in lane. But if you can't build the leads, the Aphelios response seems to be a reliable answer for the LPL teams.
Yeah, very, very good. You know, it's definitely a matchup that peaks with skill. Because Lucian Nami against lower skilled Aphelios Lulus definitely has been able to get the advantage, but Kanavi just playing with our hearts here. Personally, I'm looking for more variation. The Sylas is the main champion that was given up with the Viego ban.
Yep.
By pushing Kanavi out of his top 2 of Graves and Viego, they gave Yagao his highest preference champion, the most dominating mid lane champion of recency here at Worlds as well. And it's going to be a run back of the Aphelios for Hope and Missing. Now, Kanavi, as far as these hovers for the Bel'Veth, he was one of the earliest adopters of this champion, even on release.
Faker Rise! It's one of his 3 world skins. He's bringing it back here.
They let through the Sylas to be answered by Faker's Rise. I love it, I love it, I love it. This mid lane matchup being put to the test.
It was Chovy's Rise that we saw in the quarterfinals against Dalmon that worked wonders in game 1 of their series. Largely thanks to the strong skirmishing power that it can have into certain matchups, along with its heavy roaming style. It's also not the best ultimate for Sylas to steal away. Of course, there are uses to it, but in terms of lethality, it's definitely on the lower end.
And they're really just T1 completely committing to this roam, to your pushing side lane style here with the Rise. By giving over the Sylas, you're thinking that there will be a gap there. Of course, Sylas can still steal the Realm Warp and make his moves to the side lane as well. And we'll keep track of Yagao and how he does that. He's one of the best.
And this does fit Faker's trajectory as a player. The greatest of all time, he won 3 world championships in 4 years. And in those 4 years, it was like, well, it's because I'm dominating everyone else in the mid lane. He's hitting historic highs in damage and laning prowess and solo kills and crushing. And over the next 5 years of his career, still excellent, still winning trophies, still heading to worlds, semifinals, and finals. It's been more as a leader, more as a roamer, helping out the new young guns. It's a bunch of 19 to 20-year-olds on his team. And again, it's Faker saying, I'm going to help you guys carry.
Now we're getting so far down in the jungle pool here with the extra bans coming through with the Vi and Lee Sin. You actually are looking at things like the Bel'Veth, maybe even a Jarvan for setup for early ganks to be able to aggressively set up those lanes as you're talking about.
He's flexing his pull right now. So far at the World Championship, he has brought out 1 Nidalee game. I'd be surprised if we saw it. The Bel'Veth is being hovered right now, but we'll hold our breath. Will it be Yes, it will! Bel'Veth, our World semifinal.
He is quite possibly the jungler I am most confident in the whole world in pulling out this champion. As I said, one of the earliest adopters, played it in LPL Summer, played it in the playoffs.
Oh, yes.
He often
Yes! Yone for Zeus, baby! It was his most played coming into the series, and it's time for Yone Game 3.
You were talking about the Bel'Veth in terms of the consistency and reliability for Kanavi. Zeus, this was his answer to Aatrox. This was something that he's brought out as a counter. Now he's bringing it out blind, and he's saying, show me what you got, 369.
Yeah, it's one of his iconic champions, one of the preferred champions, the carry top for T1. The 18-year-old brought up through the T1 Academy system. So much faith, so much confidence put in this man.
I love it. I think it's a great call. It's a physical heavy team. The fight needs to be played more. I love this pick.
We knew 369 would end with so many tank top laners here because Kanavi is the focus, the carry player for JDG. And we finally get a Malphite with the recent Malphite buffs. Long time he has not been pulled out, but such a good answer for those team fights that make JDG what they are. That ultimate slamming into T1 will always give you a way back into the team fight.
I've never been this excited for a Malphite before, but not only is it great into this comp, but it's 369's Malphite. Like, he is touted as one of, if not the best top laner in the world. He had a great game one, and now JDG are rounding out what is another fantastic team fight composition. The engage is good, the front line is good, and the back line carries and skill expression for JDG looks everything to give them a repeat of game one.
And T1 are solo AP, and Rappers, brought out Velvet, was always going with this semi-tank build. The Blade of the Ruin King into then tank items later, but in Champions Queue, I saw it multiple times do the full DPS Velvet, Kraken Slayer, Blade of the Ruin King, full DPS. So I want to see if Kanavi will commit to that, or if it feels like Yagao and Hope will carry the weight.
Now, a common thing that we've seen across the world throughout this split has been this early red ward, that the delayed invade, and have a look at the junglers right now. JDG is ready for it, and they're able to get the flash out from Oner. So this was really good awareness from JDG, because again, it's something common that you'll see from many junglers, the delay on trying to drop that ward over the wall to get information. We'll now see T1 invest it on the bot side of the map instead to just figure out where Kanavi is starting, but getting the flash out from Oner is already a great start for JDG.
Yeah, and pretty common runes here from the setups from everybody. And of course, Poppy going the Hex Flash, it won't hurt Poppy as much as a lot of other champions that do not take this rune. Oner starting towards the top side here. Meanwhile, for Kanavi on that Bel'Veth, you almost always want to get your full clear off. So Kanavi starting off the bottom side, clearing up towards that top side.
No easy poke through the minions, a little damage there. The Oner indeed on the ward, getting his own blue as an early cleanse coming across there, healing a chase on down. Guma forced to flash away, and they're going for more. He's slowed, 100 health left, and JDG decide they're already winning the bot lane. Carrier trades one back, but first blood went to the AD carry.
Oh my goodness, Hope and Missing, no hesitation there. You saw that level 1. Once they get the angle of the triangle here towards the brush, and Vedius, you talked about the wards into your side lanes early on here. So you see Hope and Missing move up, you'll get an early ignite as well. Guma very far forward. He allowed auto attack range of both Missing and Hope at the same time, while Kerio was positioned behind him. And Hope and Missing, they don't hesitate. They slap him back down, they immediately punish him. So even though, yeah, Kerio gets that counter kill, it is first blood money, and it is a better site for that money to go to into the hands of the AD carry.
I will say though that this was an issue for Gumayusi during the regular season. One of the biggest criticisms that T1 had was that their bot lane wasn't as consistent, wasn't as reliable. And coming into Worlds, everyone was like, but Guma is shaking all that rust off. He does not have any of those problems.
Yeah,
but this type of aggression was some of the issues that we saw during the regular season. And I feel like that he didn't need to be that aggressive at level 1. You can see the idea, but a big mechanical blunder from him on the individual level.
Yeah, just the positioning here, Kanavi.
Stun's gonna land on a faker. You got Oner coming around pretty soon, but no flash means it can't help for much. Able to actually stop with the steadfast. And now tackling to a minion, getting away as well. Beautifully done to live. Faker down his flash.
He's not out yet though, Faker. In enemy territory, might have to execute to a tower.
Yeah, it spots him, and he's gonna say, you know what, the XP isn't worth it. The mid lane wave means more. Faker will execute. Nothing changed to the scoreboard, but it means he's gonna be sitting there not getting farmed.
Yeah, good little bodyguard moment for Oner coming through to peel for Faker and get him out of there, because you do not want Kanavi's Bel'Veth getting an early kill. They still burn the flashes though, so mid jungle 4T1, no flashes at all for them, and Kanavi feels like he can go for the grab. Does have smite available.
Oh, played by Kanavi. An early smite from Oner is nowhere close to enough damage. 77 health left after the smite itself. So double crab for the JDG jungler.
So one of the things I was going to talk about was the biggest difference between Game 1 and Game 2 is that Faker, it's easier for him to get push on the rise compared to on the Galio with the Talia. But again, we saw Yagao concede those early waves to set up for that level 3 gank. We didn't get to talk about it because of the early action bot line, but you've been highlighting it throughout the series, Kobe, and how Kanavi will consistently play through mid to unlock Yagao to burn those flashes so that he can then move around on the map. So now Faker's investment towards the bot side, ideally they look to stack up the wave, look to try and set up some sort of dive onto the bot, especially without any flashes, now becomes a lot harder.
Well, as we watch ourselves go back into the jungle, make sure to grab your exclusive Very Nass's Much Wow emote from Prime Gaming by connecting your League account with your Prime account as well. Mid lane being attacked, pretty good damage out of Faker in the mid lane. Yagao being pushed around. Woo! It's a lot of damage. Lands.
Of course, he does have the teleport, so he can likely just reset here. He hasn't actually spent any of his gold just yet. Faker, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually holds this wave. Yeah, so he's going to set up a nice freeze. Shouldn't be too much of a problem because he has the TP. So he's just going to clear the wave instead.
Meanwhile, I kind of want to point out the kind of dream scenario here for Kanavi on the Bel'Veth. Being able to win that Scuttle smite fight and then set yourself up for a reverse clear of your second clear. He goes over here, 2 Raptors, picks it up. Recall on 40 CS is going to have a bunch of gold for his first recall here for the Bel'Veth. Trying to stay ahead of the curve is really, really big with this champion. A true jungle carry champion that wants to snowball and is going to have higher priority on getting that Rift Herald. As you know, being able to get the Remora for the pushing, huge snowball opportunity for this champion has been quite a signature pick for JDG.
It certainly has. We'll see how much he can do on the champion. The pickaxe coming back onto the map. So talking about jungle, we also have to talk about top. Often JDG are a very good topside focused team. They do invest a lot early in terms of 369, but we haven't talked about this matchup at all. In terms of the early game, it often is Yone favored. He can get a lot of favorable trades. Malphite doesn't offer that much. But there's a certain break point around like level 7, level 8, level 9, where he can really start winning out on the 1v1. Starting off with the Warden's Mail already will make this matchup inherently harder for Zeus to bully and push 369 around.
They got rid of all the wards, so Kanavi was not seen clearing his bottom jungle, was not seen coming down the river. Owner, though, nearby as well. There's no fight to be had. The wave is pushing towards JDG, and Owner himself now spotted by this control ward. I think he knows from his own sweeper. As they roam over, they can't quite find that kill, but with a knockup, looks like it is going to be Scuttle Crab claimed for Kanavi. Level 6 as he knocks it down. Well done to him. Bubble nearly lands at a missing. That's a jump on forward, and Whimsy into a root, into a lot of damage. Heal is forced. Hope lives at the end with a heal, but now Guma pretty low. Has his own flash if needed. Kanavi cannot reach him.
Yeah, it's actually so dangerous when Bel'Veth has both dashes that are in the direction of your lane to be able to chase down.
Oh yeah, Gao's in the way.
Both mid laners here.
Okay, it's a 4v4 down here. Is it going to be a fight though? Looks like it's going to be a wave clear. Everyone's going to make sure it's safe. And now I think Yagao got spotted. Owner sees him. Going to find some poke, but nothing more.
Yagao was spotted, which meant that T1 were hesitant to commit to that fight. The problem that Faker now faces is Yagao is on his pathway towards getting back to mid lane, which means he's going to be forced to go back to base and go the long way around. JDG will convert this pressure bot into a dragon, and they're going to emulate exactly what they did in game 1 and set themselves up to contest for that 8-minute Herald. Wouldn't be surprised to actually see them catch this wave, go back
really
to base.
No he flashes for it, and he finds the tackle. Owner's running as fast as he can, but he's going to be slowed up. Finds a flash forward, and a kill comes across. The Dragon Steel trades his life. Flash down, Gumayushi lives.
That ward inside the Dragon Pit. Owner, Hex Flash over the top. He is not giving away the objectives to JDG. And just sacrificing 1 kill for the Dragon is for sure worth it for Owner. Pretty big play there off the vision advantage for T1. Kanavi did get a kill, so he ultimate Bel'Veth.
Flash forced away. That would have been maybe a kill entirely on a Faker, so damage comes across. He's rooted, presses E for the damage reduction. The Owner did actually burn the full 5-minute flash cooldown, just got it back. And so it's back to Hex Flash now, missing just really gets away. Although I agree with your point, Kobe, a kill and a flash, you give those away for a Drake steal.
And he's thinking here, maybe I can even get out with a phase rush proc here. Poppy oftentimes, being able to get there, but Kanavi hits a really good W around the edge, even with the phase rush speed, that's allowing JDG to set up for that counter kill. So still good objective steal for T1.
Yeah, props to Owner. The downside of this means that Kanavi will have the advantage to immediately path back up. I don't think he's actually reset yet after that Drake. Yagao though, and the bot lane, as we discussed. My expectation was that JDG would take Drake, clear bot, reset, and then come back out onto the map for this objective. They didn't get the Drake, but they should be able to secure the Herald, and JDG once again demonstrating their very clean early game objective control.
Transforms again, now has the Void Remora, which means you can start knocking down some turret plates as they look towards Zeus's shade. Can't quite get that one, but now Hope set to the top side to start going for turret plates.
Yeah, they made the full commitment, recalling bottom lane, reassigning them up towards that Rift Herald to ensure you can get it for this Bel'Veth. Recharging that timer on your ultimate form is so big, as well as giving you the extra pushing power. It does mean, though, look at Gumayushi. This Lucian has been able to stack up some CS there, push it all the way in on bottom side, and it has allowed him to get the early reset and head up towards top side to answer and collect this rest of the wave that is being pushed to his tower.
What I think is really important to recognize in this early game is T1's game plan was to, as they tried to do in game 1, get a lead in the bot side of the map and leverage this bot lane 2v2 strength to secure early objectives, in particular this first Herald. But the fact that Gumyushi died at level 1 in the 2v2 and the skirmishes that we saw on the bot side of the map made it much harder to be able to rotate around and contest these neutrals. And now you can see that JDG's bot lane is in a much better position to receive these resources. Earlier I thought Kanavi would drop the Herald up towards the bot side of the map, but I expect him to funnel that gold into this bot lane to try and keep Hope on pace or even ahead of Gumyushi.
We get damage of the ulti. Hope chunked down to about 2/3. Gets the better side of that trade as he puts his ulti down. And of course now down to cooldown as Hope's going to try to regen back up with his red gun. But low on ammo and a nice Q snipe comes across.
Also, with last game coming down to so many key objective fights and key objective steals here, T1 getting the first dragon for themselves, setting them up for possible stacking as well is really big. I think JDG, after that first game as well, they're so used to people underestimating them.
Yep.
Even though they are the LPL champions, you know, in the LPL, they are one of the least popular LPL champions of all time. Does not have the huge fan base, has a lot of doubters, and still, yet, they are the LPL's last and only hope, and 369 is tanking them.
Sidestep Zeus' first Q. Gonna find the knockup now to Owner as well. He'll stay alive. They go back in for the combo. Huge damage coming across, and he's gonna find the kill to 369. Triumphs back up the health. A knockup onto the tower. Kanavi cannot finish the kill. Yagao's now on the way, walking through a ward. Will it be enough? Knows he can steal one of the ultis, but with the wave cleared away, I don't know if Kanavi can play for it anymore. Find an ult combo now onto Lulu as well. Guma getting chunked loaded to not keep fighting this one that was missing. Walks up, summoning heal forced out. Fitting now back onto Hope. Ignite is still up for missing. Carrier can find his next bit of the combo, not just yet though. Here comes the dive, it's not gonna happen. And Yagao's locked up. Zeus finds another kill. 3-2 and T1 winning to the top lane.
The top jungle of T1 comes out on top, getting the better of Kanavi and 369. They walk away with 2 kills.
Oh, episode 1 of Top Lane God was so amazing. 369, he gets the victory in game number 1. But game number 2 here, the revenge of Zeus, gets the kill onto him as well as avoiding the tower dive there with the soul unbound. Beautiful play for him. And now, with 2 kills on this Yone, he can really show why T1 invests so much faith into all these top lane carries they pick for him. Huge, huge, huge skill peak for this champ. Take a look at this and the setup.
You can see the investment of the ultimate from 369 was just too early. Kanavi wasn't close enough to be able to turn anything around, and Zeus didn't commit any of his abilities, which meant that the second Owner was close by and 369 oversteps, they're able to get that initial kill. At this point though, JDG saying we can make the play.
God.
Great sidestep from Zeus, great flash away from the ultimate, the knock in the wall from Owner. Oh my god, and the knockup again. Exquisite mechanics from the top jungle of T1.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a god for Zeus. My god, you can't hit him with anything down there. Dodging 2 skill shots by movement and then flashing as well.
Gentlemen, I think we're in for another close game. The gold is pretty much dead even. The Herald will be dropped, which means the bot lane of JDG will find further advantages. Oh, Hope, though, takes a lot of damage.
Of course, Zibba can't find the kill, goes to the wrong target, nearly dead. Gets the shield flashed to safety. 369 would love the tower dive, but he doesn't have the target anymore. Carrier, healthy enough at 400 HP, and the first Drake was stolen by Owner. JDG committed the resource. This one, they will actually get.
Look at this ward. He's not letting it happen again. That just gave me flashbacks to the last one. They've got a ward over the back this time. They don't want to let anything go through.
They both 369 down to the bot lane. Meanwhile, Zeus is actually in mid. Kanavi may find a bit of a skirmish here, but looks like Zeus is just going to walk that one out as Kanavi picks up that wave. The most important thing about that bot side skirmish was the fact that while Gumyushi and Carrier were struggling in the bot lane 2v2 and Hope was being funneled all this additional gold, now T1 have a very clear win condition. And sure, Yone's not going to be easy to play in the late game with the Malphite, but being accelerated is nothing but good for the T1 top side.
For the top side itself now, Yagao and Kanavi want to group up this one. Down a level, but will it matter? Faker running for his life. Going to do pretty well in this one. Next knockup could be found, and it'll stop the ulti. That is a long cooldown missing, and Kanavi back to his old ways with a kill.
Kanavi eating up in the side lanes here. We were wondering, that was one of our big questions, who was going to be able to get priority. Jungle, quick attack, easy kill. And if you notice the placement of the other T1 members, nowhere else under pressure, nowhere else gained here. No momentum or answer from T1. Zeus can just shove in bottom lane, but it's fine for 369, easily able to soak it up and tank.
Clearing the ways back and forth. A 10 CS lead for Zeus as we are on the way towards The Mythic on 369's side. Blue buff taken away by Owner. Faker TV's back into the top side to clear his own way. Up farm here as well. Obviously, Jungle has a big lead on the JDG side. See how that plays for, but a very close game. Tied in gold, tied in Drakes, and once again, we have the Cloud Rift on the way to a Cloud Soul.
So in terms of where the gold is distributed, a lot of the gold advantage for JDG is actually in the jungle. You can see that Kanavi sitting at 112 CS, just slightly ahead of his own mid laner. This is pretty common for him. But as 369 secures that bot tower, and a lot of the gold is actually sitting in the hands of Gumayushi, who's not that far behind Hope, and of course in the top lane. As now Zeus looking for a bit of a skirmish. Nice sidestep there from 369.
Just wants the wave at this point. Rise coming down as well. Feels maybe a little unsafe. 2v1. It was actually the Gao diving the tower, and he's just not tanky enough. 369 holds the aggro. Shut down goes over to Kanavi, and the counter pick pays dividends in the mid game.
It's interesting because the counter from T1 is Rift Herald support push on top side, while Gumayushi... He finishes the kill this time with the Gale Force.
That is Hope dead. Missing could not give him enough support to keep him alive. Ulti actually held on. Wave comes around. 2v3 could be enough. Owner knows he can stop. Goes for the flash stun. Will it be enough? Needs to press E for damage reduction. That means he will live. This is now 3 times in a row. Owner goes for a flash. Might find himself dead. Just barely Kanavi gets out.
Wow, huge respect to Gumayushi. Even though he blundered a little bit in the early laning phase, you can see he's coming back with a vengeance. Once again, looking to be the main carry of T1 as Faker corner sideline.
No ulti for 369, which means Faker's going to feel safe. Spellbook's another ghost over and able to walk out.
Once again, T1 reclaim control of the gold lead. It's a constant back and forth between these two teams as they find picks across the board. JDG with their pick on Zeus on the bot side of the map. Meanwhile, Gumayushi finding a massive kill onto Hope in the mid lane. They couldn't quite convert it into the mid tier 1, but now already both teams are looking for the next dragon spawning in about a minute and a half.
I think we're about to see the moment that JDG has been waiting for, when they have the teleport ready for 369 and be able to get him into one of these team fights off a teleport ward, and boom, Malphite ultimate. He's been soaking up pressure this whole game, waiting for the big moment where he gets to win the team fight for his team. And T1, can they stop it? They must sweep through and clear out this vision so that they don't get surprised. Faker coming to join the rest of the team here on the rise. He's got Realm Warp available, so he could go top lane and soak it up and still be within range.
369 shouldn't have been seen, could look for an ult. He has his own flash as well, but not going to go for a tower dive. T1 still feeling safe in this one as the bot wave is pushed in. Zeus does not stay for any longer. As Malphite was on his way down, could have been roamed upon. Yagao could TP.
Honestly, it looks like he's going to commit to it. He got both towers with that Rift Herald push that we talked about last time. So there's a long open lane here, but no wards set up to support it. And really, they're just thinking about trading this bottom side dragon that is going to pull JDG's attention.
Yeah, T1 have set up for this Drake very nicely. Faker getting that deep push, as you highlighted, Kobe, along with the mid that flash in.
Over the wall, Hex flash into a stun. But can I be able to jump back away? Has helped his Lulu in the end, and they're going to kill off that ward he was on.
These two wards, control wards behind the dragon, possible angles for Yagao or 369 to force the fight on T1, and this
deep TP flank.
Here
They're both coming. All right, is it going to be enough? It's a bit of a 5-on-5, but right now, Zeus far enough away. They don't pull the trigger. Double TP is in, though, for Drake control. These might be where he wants to be on the side, but actually goes to rejoin his team. Kanavi going to snap on this Drake. Has been building towards tank, has the Aegis to keep him a bit tankier, and they're going to try to burn down this Drake with his Ruin Kick for healing.
So keep your eyes on Yagao in this fight. His ultimate's going to be crucial.
Idle wave catches just one. It's not going to be crucial, not going to be relevant there. Going to get the reset there on Owner's ulti now as well. Level 10 on the Poppy. Smite up on both. Can they zone out the Smite steal? It's only Hex Flash. They can spot him on the way in. Oh, the double knockup. They're going to find a team fight. Gumayushi nearly dead. Yagao on the chase, but he can't kill it. Just the Drake. T180 carry lives.
The engage is good from JDG, but T1 walk away with their lives. You can see the threat of the Wombo combo. 369 lands an engage onto 2, but then the Lulu follow-up actually hits onto 3, which almost completely wipes the backline of T1 off the face of the Rift before the fight even starts.
This series is a war between these two teams. Every single objective, another battle. As you pointed out, big engage there from JDG, and Yagao even flashing over to try and finish off that kill with the chains onto Gumayusi. Even though they don't get it though, they get the dragon. They continue their stacking for the side of JDG. Both teams not giving an inch in any of these fights.
But imagine if Owner hadn't gotten that clutch steal on the first Drake. JDG would be on Soul Point, and Zeus probably needs to be on 3 items where he's a huge threat. Otherwise he gets stopped up by Malphite. Decent damage towards Carrier. Not going to matter too much, although 369 obviously pretty much impervious to the current team of T1.
And we're about to see this mid game. This is why we got so excited for this Malphite pick. It's not for the lane phase.
Correct, yeah.
It is for these mid-game fights here, and 369 is a monster now with both Frostfire and the attack speed AoE reduction of that Frozen Heart done. A massive immovable object.
The big thing as well is 369 committed his flash earlier, but he traded it for Gumayushi's. Oh, now once again with a really good stun into the wall.
Zeus coming, which means it's Shrillis run away as fast as they can. 369 might need to ult to stay alive. How long he's going to wait for it? Finds his first knockup, but is it going to be enough? He'll fall to Gumayusi. Tidal wave stolen means almost nothing, and JDG this time do not find their team fight win.
We just cursed the rock right there. He's caught all alone in T1. They're not done.
They find a route. They find the follow-up. Yagao sets it up. Faker disengages the fight. A 1-for-1 though.
Gumayushi's aggression is punished. He tries to commit onto the kill for Yagao, but he oversteps one step too much, and JDG are there to punish him. A quick kill means that it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange.
Many times are we going to see this Lucian, the furthest one forward on the T1 team of Edius. My goodness, these teams going blow for blow.
It's a short-range champ. Gumayusi has to be very careful with his positioning, and often his aggression can pay off. A champion like Lucian gives him so much individual agency in a team fight. But in a situation like that, where he's tunneling onto a single target, he ends up getting punished. Let's look back.
And let's look. It is all about this flank from Zeus. Zeus comes up the river, and 369 sectioned away from the rest of his team. He does not go back to JDG early enough. He waits for an ultimate to get the knock up here onto T1, but there's no DPS around, so he goes down. The front line no longer available for JDG. Guma wants to finish off this kill, and it's in the fog of war as well.
That was beautiful.
Really nice.
Staying close in range, knowing he's not spotted, that was so nice. What a great setup by Yagao.
That is something that you have to keep in mind as these AD carries. They're always thinking about what CC can my opponents use on me? What do they still have up? Yeah. Yagao hits him with a beautiful, beautiful snare there.
Coaching staff of JDG celebrating that pick because it neutralizes the game once more. The game continues to be dead even. The gold distributed pretty evenly across both sides. Navi being the large benefactor on the side of JDG. Look at that, 2 items fully completed. The mid div is slowly starting to grow and grow as Faker has consistently been sitting in the side lane. Now level 14, has picked up a ton of farm and is already working on his 3rd item.
Will be a massive threat as we move forward. And stopwatches will be key for these big engages they're trying to get. Faker with the blue buff, move down for a shadow play here. If you split push with Zeus and have Faker...
Sets up for Kanavi. Does he have ways out? The ulti's gonna be blocked already. He gets what he can as he tries to set it up. Gets the shield, gets out for now. But how about the next engage? E damage is pretty solid. Has to get back out though as Yagao burns his TP but does not get the kill. Zeus holds every long cooldown.
That's the TP committed though from Yagao. The only good news for JDG is that the dragon is spawning in less than a minute. The problem is they will concede the mid wave. You can already see T1 pushing that wave up.
They want to go for Baron. They're gonna double TP up there to try and trade for this.
And it's in the fog as well. They have no idea.
The realm ward.
Pings.
Oh, they spot Gumayusi. That ward is clutch, but do they have the time for it? They're running as fast as they can. It's going to be 369 TPing and he'll buy time, but will it be enough? Kanavi needs to get into the pit. He's got so little time. Smite it away. T1 with the huge cross map play.
Decisiveness is the key to victory for T1 here. A Baron just snatched out of the fingers of JDG. My goodness, the double teleport. They're not done either. They're going to double push up on this top side with the Baron empowered minions.
I don't know if they have the time. I think they realize they can't play for the Cloud Drake. It's going to give JDG Cloud kill number 3. A flash gets away from 1, but a stolen Yoneo means he's going to go for Owner. However, top is still being pushed. Eventually, Zeus and Faker must be answered. Kanavi console the Drake. 3 can head back, but they might lose the inhibitor first. How much more will they lose? Hope is low. Can't fight for much more. Kanavi should be soloing the Dragon, but with mid pushed in, T1 could even answer that.
T1 playing the map beautifully right now, but here's the collapse from Kanavi.
Malphite sent back, missing, goes for the flash into the Whimsy. Guma does not get slowed just yet. Has to flash the ulti away, but they might want more. Yagao forces the sidestep, gets the root though. Yagao again secures the kill into Gumayusi.
Look back at the top lane though, Faker and Zeus are looking for more. They're grouped up. They know that they can kill 369 in a 2 versus 1. He doesn't have his ultimate. There's no way alone he can stop this.
They're gonna hard commit to it. T1 will get this inhibitor in trade. The push and pull on this map is insane right now. JDG will get a tower plus the dragon, and recalls are going off already.
They don't know it's 3v2. They don't know they're outnumbered. Keria sets up the CC, and 369 goes down. Zeus nearly finds his own knockup. His ulti is down, his flash is available. What a great setup from Keria to sneak in and make that fight easy.
Now they can try and rotate towards mid lane here with the top side push, and super minions now spawning towards top side. Looks like they will do it. There is Beam Realm Warp available for Faker.
V3, but is it enough? A great Glitterland slows down everybody. The mid wave, though, is still there. Red Bull Baron Powerfully going to be at 1,000 gold, but also down that dragon. It is once again Cloud Soul point for JDG.
Let's just take stock of what T1 just did on the map. They recognized they couldn't take the dragon, so they TP into the fog on a minion topside so that they can't be spotted. They then realm warp into the Baron to get there as quickly as possible. They take it down using the Poppy ult to keep the Malphite out of the fight for any potential risk or stalling. And then they leverage the fact that, again, JDG want the dragon, so they commit to the top side. Faker using the Rift Herald earlier in the game so that they can just generate this constant point of pressure, which JDG have to answer, giving them access to the mid lane. Just incredible map movements from T1 here in Game 2.
It's just so smart because they're playing to their comp win conditions here. They don't want to play into that Malphite. They don't want to let the big setup from JDG happen again. The 369 plus missing, double ultimates, double knockups could be devastating. And so T1 have gotten themselves the map advantage that you're talking about. Now with Supers on top side, pushing here through the bottom side with the remnants of that Baron.
Hope's gonna take so much damage, flashed away, Gale Force ulti! It is the second time in a row Guma finds that one. In the bot side is a fight though, Faker attacked, but tanky for a while. Huge ulti from Zeus, gets one, gets two, and T1, they see your 4v5, and they don't care. Under the tower, they kill two.
They rip them apart, and they're going to be able to push up mid lane with that. That's 2 critical carries. Yagao and Hope with very long respawn timers, 2 inhibitors. This early in the game will be so difficult for JDG to come back from.
They're trying to end. Look at the positioning. They're running rather far forward. Now they're going to realm warp away to play for the next side of the map with a new wave. They're going to be here for bot lane tier 2. The gold lead will balloon. Mid inhibitor is down. Top inhibitor is down. And all these turrets have been cracked.
T1 have just blown this game wide open. Unbelievable performance from them. I felt like JDG was the one dictating the pace of the game, controlling the map in Game 1. But T1 have just one-upped them here in Game 2. And look at Gumayusi getting his revenge in the 1v1 as he gets another solo kill on the Hope.
Key thing here, look at the split push for JDG. They've got Silas teleporting in now, but it was a beautiful engage. And Zeus. So it's the reason why his Yone is so feared. Sets it up for the team, doesn't hesitate, doesn't care if you're a tank, immediately engages, wraps up JDG with those extra kills. T1 pushes forward so quickly.
And that Zonya's from Faker. 10 years in the game, reflexes like Zeus. Unbelievable performance. T1 now in firm control of Game 2.
Honestly, I think the critical factor here has been the speed that T1 are throwing these questions at JDG. It is like a rapid fire test. 1 second to answer each move. Boom, they go to Baron. They burn it down. If you're slow on this, they get the Baron empowered recalls. They double commit to the push on the top side. They get the inhibitor. They consistently are forcing you into macro decisions, and there's no time to respawn.
And so much of the credit needs to be given to the T1 solo laners, Zeus and Faker. They have been running rampant on the side lanes. Their map play has been exquisite, and now they find themselves, Zeus level 16, Faker level 16, level advantages across the board. They're just not going to give JDG the team fight that they're looking for.
Yeah, and now with double inhibitors down, you have such an easy time of controlling all the resources on the map. You can see it right now. They've completely wiped both jungles here of any resources for JDG to take, and if they litter the pathways through the jungle, all they have to do is retreat to Dragon, stop this Dragon Soul stacking, and JDG kind of forced to clean up all of these minions inside their base. They cannot afford to leave lest you get split pushed to death. So
the farm continues. We are on
they're going
3 out
for
of
Baron.
2. Yeah, Hope has himself a Guardian Angel. Baron is up right now, and you can see T1 on the way over.
They don't care about Cloud Souls at all. They want to give up another one in exchange for the Baron. Guma trying to buy them some time. This is merely trying to push JDG away from the Baron while the rest of the team can burn it.
Clean.
You have an IE and a Zeal on Zeus. He's going to be fine to burn down this Baron. There's the vision gain. Will it be enough? Guma not hit by almost anything. Kanavi does not land the CC. So look at a mid-wave. 369 is here, but Baron is certain to be claimed. Now the question is map control, because you know their eyes are set on Dragon Soul. Good damage on a missing at a half HP.
That was a lot of damage already onto the support, but look, T1 don't care.
Oh,
they
wow.
didn't care in game 1. They have their eyes set on the Nexus, and JDG recognize it. But T1 having control over the mid wave, it is they who have the push, and guess what they can do with it? They can force JDG to back off and move to the Drake. T1 just get everything and then more.
T1 just got Baron, and JDG got 2 mid minion waves for it. Just really, really high pressure there, and Guma Yushi.
Oh, he's going to spot him. Ulti only going to catch the champion, which means they can land the CC combo, and they can find this kill on a Zeus. Now, will it be enough to do anything else, though? Because the Drake is certainly to be claimed by T1.
Yep, your life is payment for stopping the Dragon Soul stacking here. T1, they actually made a lot out of those double inhibitors being down.
Oh, yeah.
What a fun game.
Wow, I'm just so impressed with T1. I felt like coming into game 2, after what we saw from JDG in game 1, was that JDG just have a really good understanding of how to play the map, and then T1 completely usurped my expectations, and the way they've been playing these side lanes is just a joy to behold. We have 2 incredible teams competing right now.
Specifically, Guma Yushi has been playing on the edge with this solution. We criticize him when he gets hit with Yagao's Everfrost twice. Yagao, amazing play from him to be able to snipe him and the Fog of War play, but it's also Guma playing on the edge that has consistently killed Hope with the ultimate plus the Gale Force usage.
Oh, stealing away. Colin, going to be some decent damage. A couple of recalls already came through. 369 is on the flank. Carrier could be 1 kill, but they want more than that one. The flash forward chains won't land. Carrier will drop, but not going to go for the ulti on to Guma. It's Zeus who matters. They find the first one, they find the slow. The base is being attacked. Kanavi is there to defend it, and Figur's going to get away, but that means he can reinforce the team fight. Looking for the kill on to Zeus. Missing, running for his life. Owner going to set up for another as Guma has already gotten a double kill. And Owner's going to set up the third. That will be a kill on to Missing. And now it's T1 against just 2. 4v2 in the base. Minions and a Baron flooding it as well. 20 there in a gold bonus on the power play, and now going for the Nexus turrets. T1 looking to tie up this series, and Kanavi tries to bait the CC, burns the stopwatch, flashes in, finds what damage he can, and buys a bit of time, because guess what? The LCK Hero World are stopped by inhibitors, and T1 will not find the game just yet.
Wow, T1 can't actually end because the inhibitor will in fact come back out onto the map. But what a crazy fight we just saw. JDG was setting up for the flank. They were looking to try and catch T1 in their recalls. But T1 again play it so well. They create 2 points of pressure. They force JDG to split apart. And the second that they are, Faker's Realm Warp collapses onto the team and creates a numbers advantage. This is how you play a split push comp. This is how you play against a team fight. Great execution once again from T1.
Exactly, and look how quick they answer. Teleport from 369 comes in. They want the team fight, but T1 say, we don't want the team fight. We want to pressure your Nexus. So with the teleport into the base from Faker, he forces the answer from JDG. They have to teleport out Yagao, meanwhile allowing the interrupt here, Zeus.
Oh my word.
Zeus. He interrupts the teleport. He basically kills 2, sets up the double for Guma Yushi. T1 just pulling JDG across the map, making use of their big advantage. Now Faker, though, on the run.
Jumping in by himself. Hope's going to be moving pretty fast. He'll be rooted in place, though, but the damage might not be enough. Whimsy does not find the slow afterwards.
Kanavi is going back to base. Hope is looking to get that kill on the Faker, but he's just buying time for his team as much as possible. The ultimate from Ona.
Yep, Kanavi's going to find that first kill. He's going to transform, but actually the shutdown goes through. 369 finds his engage, but cannot kill Carrier. Hover not going to be in threat much himself. Yagao doesn't find the root, burns Azonius. In comes Zeus, knocks down Missing, and there's the rest from Owner. Gets the second. Hope going to lose the Guardian Angel, but how about the rest? As everyone's starting to fall, Kanavi is left alone, but you can't do it by yourself. You need a team, and T1 will tie up the scoreline 1-1 in the semifinals.
Guma Yushi gets hit with 2 Everfrost early in the game, dies both times, but dodges the game-winning 3rd Everfrost. They force these Zhonyas, they kill Yagao. Him and Zeus destroy that last fight. What magnificent stuff from those two players on T1. Back-to-back, huge carry performances.
I think you summed it up really well, Kobe, in that Gumayushi, that level of aggression has lows, but the highs are incredible. The way in which he navigated those team fights, the way he consistently shut down Hope 1v1.